right. That way. Exactly. Until you retire. Oh, did my friend come by? Not really a scheduled. That is the question. You think you're more than 30 at the moment? Gosh, they'll be in the loop when they say if there's anyone else. Hey, sorry. No worries. Absolutely. I would you like Message.
Yeah.
sheet. I have it right here. Yes, it's right up there on the table. But there's, I believe, one copy for sharing. Would you like to speak? No, I'm all good. Thank you.
She was here.
We get this superior. Okay.
Come on.
Meeting is called to order at 7:37 p.m. Before we begin our meeting, I ask that everyone please take a moment to silence their phones. Thank you. Will the clerk please read the compliance with the Senator Byron Bear Open Public Meetings Act?
In accordance with Section 5 of the Senator Byron Bear Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the annual notice schedule, which contain the time, date, and location of this meeting, copies of which notices were forwarded to the official county newspapers, to wit, the Herald News and the Record, and a copy of which was posted on the bulletin board in the Bergen County Justice Center and Administration Building, 1 Bergen County Plaza, Hackensack, New Jersey, and filed with the Office of the Bergen County Clerk.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Vice Chairwoman Amoroso.
Here.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Here.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Here.
Freeholder Voss.
Here.
Freeholder Zur.
Here.
Chairwoman Ortiz.
Here. Evidence of a quorum is present. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Fire Chief Ferry, would you like to lead us?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence as we remember Albert Burstein, former Assembly Majority Leader, Essex County Freeholder Lebby Jones, and the founder of Bergen Volunteers Medical Initiative, Dr. Samuel Cassell. Former Assemblyman Burstein represented the 37th District in the General Assembly from 1972 to 1982 and served as its Assembly Majority Leader from 1977 to 1979. He also served as a commissioner of the New Jersey Election Law Commission until he was in his 80s. Freeholder Lebby Jones of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders was first elected in 2014 and re-elected in 2017. She's remembered as a longtime educator and a community activist. Dr. Samuel Cassell was the founder of Bergen Volunteers Medical Initiative located in Hackensack. In 2014, he received the American Medical Association's Award of Excellence in Volunteerism. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their family and loved ones. We are honored to have with us tonight Chief Elizabeth Ferry. Ms. Ferry is the first female fire chief in Woodridge and the third overall in Bergen County. Would you please join us at the podium to accept your commendation for the board, from the board?
Oh, okay.
On behalf of the freeholders, first of all, I want to thank you for your service. I'm extremely proud of you. And so many more women to follow in your footsteps. It's unbelievable to be the first in your town and the third in your county. That's actually, thank you so much. So on behalf of the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders, we have a commendation in honor of being appointed fire chief in the borough of Woodridge and in recognition of being the first female to hold this critical position. We congratulate you on behalf of nearly 1 million residents of Bergen County. Congratulations.
We'll move you in.
What?
I want to make sure.
The women.
The win.
Now we demand.
Couple guys. You want a couple guys from my department or go to the county fire marshal?
You're fine, you're good.
That's it, my father is a retired member.
Oh, awesome.
Sorry. My sister is a current junior member.
Excellent, wonderful.
16, she decided she was going to try it out.
Wow.
Anyone want to say a few words?
You want to say something?
Oh, so shy. I already gave a speech this week. That's it. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now we have a woman as chief of police in Bergen Freeholders.
You gonna let her speak?
Oh, you had one in Fairland, too.
Really?
She was before.
Does she want to speak, Jermaine? Does she
I
want-
asked her.
Oh, she's,
She said she didn't want to.
really?
Does any of the freeholders have any?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Sure.
First of all, to all of the Woodridge firefighters who are here in support, I want to thank all of you for your service, what you do every day to protect our communities. We are grateful, so grateful. And Chief, congratulations on this appointment. It's wonderful to see women stepping forward into these roles of leadership and being acknowledged as being the best for this position. And being the one to lead the department is really a tremendous honor. Thank you for modeling for our daughters that they can do anything, and thank you for modeling for our sons that we can do anything. So thank you very much, Chief.
Anyone else?
I'll say a few words.
Okay, sure.
I'm very, very close to the fire department in my town. I served as liaison to the fire department for over 10 years. And I can't tell you how fantastic volunteer fire people are. We have 4 companies in my town, and we have 52 high-rises. So I know that the danger that everyone is in. And again, I'm so proud of women finally getting the acknowledgement that they are just as able, and sometimes more able, than some of their counterparts. And so congratulations, I'm very proud of you, and I'm proud of all of our volunteer fire people. God bless.
Yeah, if I may, I just want to add, as a father of 3 daughters, thank you. Seriously, you said, there's no bar that can't be reached, and thank you for what you do. Thank you to all the volunteers of your town, all your first responders. You are what makes the world go around, and we thank you for it. And a special congratulations on achieving your accomplishment. Thank you.
And Chief, if I may ask, you said you have a 16-year-old sister, okay, who has expressed interest in being a junior firefighter.
She's already joined.
She's doing it.
Well, that's it. We're a firefighting family. My father
Your
started
father?
in
Yes,
1978.
right.
I joined in 94. I have another I have 3 brothers who all joined.
Wow.
And actually, the oldest of them is currently serving as the chief in Highland Lakes.
Wow.
Wow.
You're all over the place.
That's where he went to raise his 3 girls, so that he had a little bit more land. If somebody likes to mow the lawn, somebody's got to go do that, so.
Well,
Freeholder Amoroso would
So
like
we
an
are serving
application.
current-
yeah, we really are very proud of you and you.
Freeholder Tonelli?
Congratulations, Chief, but I'd also like to thank the families as well. You know, we appreciate you stepping up to the ranks. We know the 24/7 commitment, but it's also a commitment for families of all of our volunteers, especially with the mutual aid, how quickly you guys respond to other towns that are in need of help. And while your family's home worrying about your safety, you guys are running out the door in the middle of the night, all different times of the day. So we have a tremendous volunteer fire service in Bergen County, especially down south. I have family members that have served as chiefs, and it's amazing what you guys do as volunteers. So I want to thank you all for your commitment to the residents of Bergen County and to your communities. Thank you.
Thank you again, and God bless your family for all giving their time and volunteering.
Without their support, we could.
That's true. Thank you again for your service. The Freeholder Board would like to announce that effective February 20th, our public meetings will now start at 7 p.m. Will the clerk read the minutes to be accepted?
The minutes to be accepted are December 26, 2018, the Sine Die meeting, Freeholder Voss absent, January 7th, 2019, the reorganization work session, all present.
May I have a motion to accept the minutes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimously approved. We will now have the hearing of the general public with a 3-minute time limit in effect in accordance with the Bergen County Freeholders bylaws. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the board attorney will announce the time has expired. Please fill out the slip of paper with your name, address, and general topic you wish to speak about. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay. Joseph Dunsey?
Good evening. In the past few years, there was a lot of argument over the era of construction in Mahwah and I think a few other towns. And I was just thinking maybe it's time to plan for a countywide era, and that way we can save a lot of debating at the municipal level. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds like a plan.
Shane Mitchell?
Hey, good evening. I'm Shane Mitchell from Mahwah, although I'm here in my role as Legislative Director to Senator Loretta Weinberg. She asked I read a quick statement from her about an issue having to do with Area 2 of Peck Park and the field station. She would like to be here herself, but she's dealing with a family concern, thus my presence. Yeah, here we go. And this is as her, so you'll have to excuse all the eyes. Also, a little bit shorter, blonder, a little feistier, and you can imagine it as her. Anyway, I've been overwhelmed by scores of constituents who oppose Field Park Station and its proposed future home in Area 2 over Peck Park. They believe that Bergen County parkland should be preserved for eco-friendly activities and that Field Station does not fit that description. Recently, a group of constituents told me that Area 2, which had been open to the public, was suddenly closed to the public with signs and fencing. I asked the county executive's deputy chief of staff, Peter Butsolis, about the status of Area 2, and I would like to thank him for his quick response. I will read his response into the record. Senator, Area 2 has not suddenly been restricted. Area 2 has always been closed to the public. It is in need of remediation and is off limits, and it is a public safety risk to be in there. There are no accommodations for the public within that site. There were signs that have gone missing recently or been vandalized. However, there's no way to, quote, police, end quote, if people are actually going down there. Please don't hesitate to ask any further questions you may have. Peter. In light of Mr. Butsolis' response as to the status of Area 2, and since constituents are questioning the progress of the field station project on that site, can any of the freeholders tell me, or I guess Loretta, if the remediation of this site is in preparation to build the 300-car parking lot for this dinosaur venue? I would appreciate being kept apprised of developments on this issue as my office is receiving regular constituent inquiries. Thanks.
Thank you.
Should I tell him? No. Just keep going.
Keep going.
Art Vatsy? Sorry, Vatsy.
Yes, good evening. I am Art Vatsky of Teaneck, and I also want to speak about Area 2. And, I think of politics as a discussion between people with different views. But we're entering a new stage of politics now. We have to communicate with nature because nature is changing. And I've looked at where this area is on the map, and it's right above the intersections of Route 80 and Route 95. And I mention that because instead of putting a structure or a parking lot there, we need to improve the wetlands situation, the wetlands to prevent expected storms from flooding the area, the homes and the highways, two major highways. And we really need to see that. You have to think 10 years ahead. What will people be saying in front of this freeholder board if something major, unprecedented, like Superstorm Sandy, comes through our area and blocks the highways, floods the communities? So I think we should leave Area 2 open to nature and let the wetlands do their job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vetz. Mary Walsh.
Mary Walsh, Hackensack, New Jersey. Last time I was here, I brought you petitions with 1,635 names. This evening, I would like to give you another 150 and tell you that that 1,635 is now 1976, plus several dozen calls that have gone into the freeholder's office, to the county executive's office. That brings the total to 2,200 names, maybe one or two off. So yesterday I was talking to Maud Snyder, who is the Green Acres Legal Services liaison to Bergen County, and I told her about this. And she said, first thing she said was, that's quite impressive. And then she said, the county needs to address the concerns of the residents. So you may ask, what does this have to do with the contract that you're going to pass the resolution on tonight? And what it has to do with is to make sure that that contract is only for remediating areas and it is not destroying trees for a parking lot or taking out other areas. And that way you can address the concerns of the residents who really want nature. So I would like to ask you, when that contract does come up, that you would make sure that it's only the parts that need to be remediated are going to be remediated and not paved over. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Quinn.
Steve Quinn, Richfield Park. Good evening. I hope you all got the letter I sent on December 17th, and I hope you had a great holiday season and Happy New Year. And Freeholder Sullivan, you were chairman last year, and I thank you sincerely for your written reply. I'm just stopping by tonight to ask you if there's any progress on the revised plan for Area 2. Has there been any progress? Are you aware of its status? When we might see it? Nothing yet. And also, I would also like to second Mary Walsh's comment that we understand that the county will be entering into a contract with Biohabitats, the environmental engineer, who will be doing or overseeing the mitigation or remediation in Area 1 and Area 2. And specifically regarding Area 2, if you can really monitor that contract and that agreement closely to be sure that the work being done, we all want the remediation and the mitigation to happen, but we don't want work that will damage the viable environment in Area 2 and in any way prevent it from being developed in the future as a nature preserve. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. John Fesson.
Good evening and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
John Feason, Mahwah, New Jersey. At the December 19th Freeholders meeting, a resident of the Fardale section of Mahwah, the Fardale section is within earshot of the firing range in Mahwah, the resident appeared before this board. He expressed his concern regarding the excessive noise generated by the newly renovated firing range at the Law and Public Safety Institute on Camp Gore Road in Mahwah. After the resident's comments, there was a response that the gun range is not a new phenomena. It's been going on for 40-plus years. Why are you complaining about it now? I would like to remind you that the firing range has been almost totally changed. It is not the old firing range, obviously. That's gone. The nearby residents tolerated the noise from the old range for 40-plus years for the good of the county. It is a new firing range where cement and steel has been installed and more than an acre of asphalt has been put down. Our focus is the excessive noise generated by the new range, not the old range. Please do not equate the old range with the new range. We are reacting to the renovation of the range and the recent actions of replacing grass and dirt with asphalt, cement, and steel, which obviously increases the noise level. On January 7th, our committee, called Stop the Noise and Close the Range, our committee held its first public meeting for the Mahwah and Ramsey residents who were concerned about the excessive noise. 50 residents attended the meeting, which was held at the Ramsey Library in their meeting room. This is the first of a series of meetings that we will hold. The next one is scheduled for March 18th. Our recommendation to you is to enclose the range and convert it into an indoor range, which would completely solve the excessive noise problem. Plus, it would provide some other obviously important benefits, such as operating during bad weather days, cold weather days, and being able to do nighttime shooting during the day. We believe that at some point in time, the firing range will be converted to an indoor facility because we think it's the right thing to do. And doing so now is far better and less expensive than doing the conversion at some future date. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. Laura Tracy Cole.
Hello, good evening and Happy New Year. I'd like to know who is the new park liaison this year?
Same as last
Mr.
year.
Tonelli? Okay, good. I've emailed you all this week to encourage you to be more proactive in the Overpeck area and not just wait for the agreements to come to your desk. Area 2 is assessed at $10.1 million of value, but its value as a preserve is priceless. Tonight, you will introduce 2 new contracts for Area 2 and 1 remediation, and we do ask you to please make sure that there's not excessive tree cutting, especially around the parking lot area. We spoke in the Bergen Field meeting about the parking lot area being an area that needed remediation and capping. Well, I've sent you several maps showing that there's very little remediation in that area, and there's natural forest area in that same parking lot area. So the driveway will cut through, an asphalt driveway will cut right through the forest. The state plan, the NJI DEP state plan says that we've lost 42,000 acres of forest. So we cannot be cutting down more forest just to align with the Marriott's driveway. Can someone tell me who's negotiating the contract now? The Parks Department or the executive or the administrator?
Negotiating what contract?
The Field Station Dinosaur contract.
It's not currently being negotiated.
Okay. Prior to that, the Bergen County Improvement Authority negotiated the first letter of intent. Who took that away from the Bergen County Improvement Authority and reassigned it to someone else? Because they said they have nothing to do with that contract any longer.
I don't even understand the reference of who the they is at BCIA who would have said they have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, Mario Ranguso, we went to their meeting and we asked them, how they're doing on the negotiation because they had negotiated the letter of intent, which is the first part of the agreement for Field Station Dinosaur. So they said, oh, no, we haven't seen that agreement. We don't have anything to do with that for years now. But I didn't ask him, who told you not to work on that project anymore?
Well, your question was if the administration is negotiating it now.
Yes.
It's not currently under negotiation. So as far as the BCIA's previous involvement, they're not negotiating it either. So it wasn't taken away from anyone. It's at a pause now because we don't even have a final plan for Area 2. So there's nothing being negotiated at this point.
And who decided that? Just like how do those decisions happen?
So
What office is that?
With regard to who decided that, that is not a matter for public disclosure. In terms of who ultimately decides things, it's either something that comes before this freeholder board or it's the county executive or the administration. So if you're looking for the individual of a person, a person's name, you can direct whatever inquiry you have on that line to the administration, and I know you've called the county executive's office in the past as well, so we handle that.
Okay.
Christy Evers.
Christy Evans at Leonia. I'm on the Leonia Environmental Commission, and I came here with some good news today. We passed on December the 3rd a ban of styrofoam food containers. And we're not the only ones. Englewood now has an ordinance pending to also ban styrofoam food containers, and it's part of the Bergen County Environmentally Friendly Styrofoam-Free Initiative. And this is going to be occurring around Bergen County. We have a 4-part program. One is education. It's called the Science of Styrofoam. It's really for kids. It's a STEM program. The next one is going to be held in Ridgefield Park on January the 27th. The second part is business awards. So any businesses that don't use styrofoam food containers get a styrofoam-free business award. It's quite pretty. I'll show it to you. Looks like this. So they hang this up in their windows and in their doors. The third part is styrofoam drives. So it turns out that styrofoam packaging is recyclable, it's reusable, and you can actually make money off of it. But we don't currently recycle it here in Bergen County, and we could. So the good news is that we're going to have styrofoam drives throughout Bergen County. Leonie's had 3 of them. There will be styrofoam drives in Fairlawn, Glen Rock, Hillsdale, Oakland, Oradell, Ridgefield Park, Ridgewood. There will be also some other ones, like Tenafly, I think, is coming on board. I guess I came here today just to pass along the good news, but I'm also going to, I'm going to be asking at some point for your assistance because we would love to make Bergen County truly styrofoam-free. There are over 100 counties in the United States and cities that are styrofoam-free. New York City is one. And we'd also like to set up EPS, styrofoam packaging recycling. Our big dream is to get a densifier. That way you can resell the recycled product. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Evers. Thank you for all your initiatives and the education. And I know we're all for the environment, and it's something that we'll definitely be looking into. I know we've discussed this before. And I thank you for leading the way, and we shall continue conversation with that. I know Freeholder.
It's something we've been working on in the county. I don't know if you saw us looking at each
thank
other.
you.
You and I have had this conversation too. And just to clarify for the record, it's not the little fluffy styrofoam nuggets. It's the dense stuff that comes in your TV that's recyclable.
Right.
So for the people out there who are collecting stuff and holding it in their garage for those recycling drives, they should know it's the big dense packaging, not the little
Coffee
peanuts.
cups.
It's not the peanuts. So.
Thank you. I'll leave this with you. It's
Thank you so
program.
much. Is that Roland or Colin?
Thank you, Storm.
Leah Rowland? Is it Roland?
Hi there. Nice to see you all again. The new year is always a time for new hope. Many of us from Bergen County municipalities and towns have been coming here for several months to express our concern about a project called a dinosaur park. Have you taken a ride in the big yellow cab? You must have heard the song, "Don't Pave Over Paradise and Build a Parking Lot with a pink hotel and a boutique and a swinging hotspot. Don't cut down our trees and make us go to a museum and pay $1.50 to see trees." I'm speaking for myself and Joni Mitchell. We express our concern about what we hear is the potential project of a dinosaur park, and I hear there are contracts for remediation, and wondering what the status is of the project, if you can tell me, of the dinosaur park that's been discussed.
We have not had any project being discussed yet at all, so nothing has come before us, and we have not made any decisions. As all we've discussed is any remediation to be done to that area too. In regards to the dinosaur, that has not been presented to us.
That, I'm somewhat perplexed, because it seems to me there is concern, and I know you've heard the concern, and perhaps I'm skeptical, because as I live in Leonia, suddenly, without the community really knowing about it, suddenly there was a dinosaur park, not on the grandiose scales that we are concerned about in Section 2, but a dinosaur park in Leonia that none of us were aware of. Can you tell me, I'd be very interested in knowing what the process was, how it came to be that that dinosaur park sprouted up, in what Leonia contributed to the county for wildlife and green space?
I was not freeholder at the time when that was negotiated, but I don't know if the administrator, would you?
So with regard to the,
I'm sorry, I'm a little deaf.
I'm sorry, let me make sure I get closer to my mic also. So the initial dinosaur park was a temporary permit that has been issued to them to use the space they're in Leonia Park. There was discussion at that time about if the park would continue at some point and have a more permanent home in Area 2.
3 minutes.
There was a public hearing that was held in Teaneck under Green Acres rules with regard to getting public comment and presenting to the public the idea of whether the dinosaurs were to go to Area 2, what was the public reaction to it. So there is no definite final plan with regard to the dinosaurs going to Area 2 at this point. However, the requirement to remediate the areas in Area 1, Area 2, and Area 3 eventually has been an ongoing obligation that the county already has. So the biohabitats contracts that are on the agenda today, they're not new contracts, because biohabitats has already been involved in the remediation that's been performed in Area 1 to this point. And they're the naturalists and the environmentalists who are advising the county as to how to go forward with the remediation and cause the least amount of disruption to the natural wildlife that's there and the preferred flora and fauna that should be there, not the invasive species that have showed up. So that's what biohabitat's charge is. So with regard to the initial proposal that was done with the concept of putting a dinosaur park there, Biohabitats was consulted with regard to that as well. So when the prior hearings were held, and the idea of putting the parking in there and the idea of putting a dinosaur park in there, all of those things had to be in conjunction with Biohabitats, that if it were to move forward, it would have to be done in the most environmentally friendly way. And that's what the DEP has required as well. So the contracts that are on now are just for the remediation that's required in those areas, and is not planned around an eventual dinosaur park or anything else. Because if there's a final plan to put the dinosaurs in Area 2, that would have to come before the freeholders. And there would have to be an agreement for that, and that would have to be compensated for and accounted for in Biohabitats or any other remediation efforts that are going on there as well.
Okay, I think I'm following you, but I am not understanding why there is this concern if you're saying that a proposal is not actually being considered.
Well,
Exactly. And it would seem to me
I'll
that
answer that question. I'm sorry, your time is up, but I will answer that question.
I appreciate it.
So with regard to the concern is obvious because there was a hearing that was held with regard to the possibility of the dinosaurs going there. So there are obviously residents in the area and other residents who have concern about that, who want to stay on top of the whole process to make sure that their concerns are heard, like at the last hearing, and they've sent information to the administration with regard to the petitions and other names, so that we are on notice and aware that there's the ongoing interest and concern that that they're not in favor of the dinosaur park going forward. And
Can I ask one final question? What would be we talked about all the disadvantages from an environmental and traffic and livability point of view. What would be the potential advantage of having such a project?
So what I will say with regard to that, I'm not going to go through all the potential advantages. What I'm going to say is what the administration is taking into consideration is not just what your concerns are bringing forward, but also the concerns of those people who don't have the time or opportunity to come to these freeholder meetings, but who have attended the Leonia side where Dinosaur Parks is now and have said they like it as a feature to get their children to go to the park, and they have appreciated the entertainment value. So there are people who have opinions that may be different than yours that have to be considered as part of this, because it is Bergen County, it's all 1 million people, and it's not just the ones who favor X or favor Y. So we have to take all those things into consideration.
I thank you.
Jonathan Ross.
Good evening, and thank you for your comments. It does give me some education as far as the whole process of Area 2. I am the Democratic Committee person for District 1 in Teaneck, which borders Area 2, or actually how I think it should be called. It should really be called the Southern Teaneck Wetlands. Area 2 is it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. Okay, it just means you can dispose that. Area 2 is disposable. The Southern Teaneck Wetlands are not disposable. Right? They reduce pollution and fumes and sounds and light from Route 95. I live about 2 blocks away from it. I hear the sounds. I see the light. During the winter, it gets brighter when the trees are in full. Once the trees get full, the sounds get less, the light goes down. It's very important for the lifestyle and the quality of life for the people that live in Southern Teaneck. And I would also ask, have any of you ever been down there? You've all walked it? Okay. I would just like you just consider your impressions of how beautiful it can be. And I think that the whole remediation process that you had talked about, if it is done responsibly and with full disclosure, I could probably get behind it. Okay, I think that would be good. Dinosaur Park is a different point. For me, it's really an environmental issue and the quality of life for the people of Southern Teaneck and Southern Bergen County. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I wanted to just address also a comment that the gentleman in the back made for Senator Weinberg. That area has never been open to the public. As a matter of fact, there's been trespasses, and they knocked down the sign where it says "Do not enter." 'Cause no, your time. Oh, I'm sorry. May I have a motion to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.
You don't.
Opposed? Okay. One opposed. I was just addressing that it's not a public area. There's a no trespassing sign that was taken down. I know it was put back up on Monday morning, if I'm not mistaken. And it's dangerous. It's waste debris. No one should be in that area. When the gentleman asked if I have walked that area, I've seen Area 1. I have not been able to go into Area 2 yet. I would like to go to see more, but we're not supposed to be there, and it's a dangerous area. There shouldn't be anyone there. So I'm not understanding why she would say that it's closed to the public when it's never been open to the public. So I just wanted to address that. Will the clerk read the resolutions on the consent agenda?
Resolutions of consent are 1619 through 7919.
May I have a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent agenda as read by the clerk?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Vice Chairwoman Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan. Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, the consent agenda has passed.
Are there any resolutions pulled, postponed, or tabled?
There are none.
We will now go on to our ordinance for first reading and introduction, ordinance 19-01. Will the clerk read ordinance 19-01 by title only?
Ordinance 19-01 is an ordinance establishing the salaries of the constitutional officers.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 19-01 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
One opposed. Roll call, please.
Vice Chairwoman Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
No.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
With 6 ayes, 1 nay, ordinance 1901 passes first reading.
We will now have the Freeholder Committee reports. Start with Freeholder Voss.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Very interesting week. We had our reorganization on the 7th, and I was so happy because 2 of my former students who graduated from Fort Lee High School in 1988 were both sworn in as councilmen in Leonia. And it gave me great joy to go down there and commend them and give them, all accolades for, and I'm so proud of the 9,000 young people that I had an opportunity to teach, because many of them have become very, very excellent public servants. And I want to encourage everybody to get involved, because, we all have a voice and we should use it. On the 13th, Sunday, a very large crowd came out to see the swearing in of the new president of the NAACP. It was wonderful, and Jeff Carter has taken the place of Anthony Curitin, who is now our sheriff, and so everybody was very supportive, and it was a very wonderful afternoon. We had Korean American Day, and I think that I always like to give a little history lesson, because I think that people need to appreciate each other. And back in 1903, the first Koreans came to America. They settled in Hawaii. There were just about 102. And now we have a very, very large, very productive Korean population, and they make many, many contributions to our society. We have our first Korean mayor now in Palisade Park, and we are very diverse, and we should share in and appreciate everybody's contributions. I attended a conference. I've been very involved with an organization called SAFE, and that stands for Save Abused and Frail Elderly. I don't think that people are aware of the fact that one of the biggest problems in society today is the abuse of elderly. And there is an organization, it's called SAFE, and I'm going to give you 2 telephone numbers because very often the elderly who are being abused do not know where to turn. And so we have here in Bergen County, Adult Protective Services of Bergen County, and the telephone number is 201-368-4300, so that we have many services here on the county level. But SAFE also has many, many resources, and SAFE's phone number is 551-795-0471. I'm one of the supporters of this organization, and one of the big problems today is, this is a guide for senior citizens. It's called Money Smart for older adults. I don't know about you, but I know I have received many, many phone calls saying this is the IRS or this is, something. And of course, they intimidate you. You owe a lot of money and stuff like that. Never, never pay attention to these phone calls. And, if they ask you for any information about your savings account, your Social Security number, absolutely do not give any of this. I can't tell you the number of people that I have come in contact with that have been ripped off, sometimes in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if I can be of any assistance, I have a lot of contacts, and if anybody needs to get assistance for any of the elderly who you feel may be in trouble, give me a call here, and I will put you in contact with the proper, people who can get you the help that you need. Very often, seniors will give money, and they give it in cash, and there is absolutely no way that that can be retrieved, okay? So there's lots of lessons that we have to learn and to teach and to be aware of. Yesterday, we swore in 3 new undersheriffs, and there'll be a more formal swearing in the foreseeable future. And Freeholder Tonelli and I were there, and it was very representative of the diversity that we have here in Bergen County. This is a great county, and so even though we may have some times that we don't agree on everything, we have many things that we can agree on. Thank you, and Happy New Year, everybody.
Freeholder Sullivan?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I like that. Sounds good. I just want to point out that tonight the Freeholder Board passed Resolution 64-19, in which Bergen County entered into another shared service agreement with the Township of Washington to purchase and obtain road salt, which will be housed at our county facility and available to them at any time. These types of agreements continue in our promise to bring savings to the municipality and the county. I hope that more and more of our towns will come on board with as many shared services as possible. As you know, we continually look for ways to save the taxpayer money, and this is the shared services are definitely the way to go. We have a bigger purchasing power than a municipality that stands alone. And if the towns come to us, we can help them get a reduced rate on that. And that's what we did here at Washington Township. Over the past weekend, I attended the preview tour and grand opening of the ShopRite in Wyckoff. I'm proud to say that this project was built with the union labor, and the quality of the finished project really shined through. It was a wonderful event run by the Insera family, who was wonderful to their community. Any community they go into, the Insera family knows how to give back. They know how to treat their employees, and they know how to treat workers. And I want to thank them for bringing another great business to the residents of Bergen County. There's something to be said about a family that understands that when they're in business, when they employ people, that their job is to make sure that those people have a good salary and they're able to pay health benefits. And not only do the Inseras do that, but they continually give back to the community. I reported on last month that they gave thousands of turkeys out over the holidays to people that needed them. And just a great shout out. We welcome all their projects in Bergen County. I attended Governor Murphy's State of the State address yesterday. There were some good points and some bad points. Hopefully that the good points are that we will be moving the economy forward and people will be starting to invest more in New Jersey. Congratulations to the new Bergen County undersheriffs that were sworn in this week, along with the warden. Sheriff Curitan has hit the ground running. He's working as hard as he can, and he will be filling out a staff shortly. But it's a process, and the diversity shines through again. That's what Bergen County is made of. I also visited our new Montvale Police Chief, Chief Joseph Sanfilippo. Took over for Jeremy Abrams up in Montvale. Happens to be where I live. But he's a good guy with a lot of experience, and the Montvale Police Force will continue to be run in a positive direction as it has been, as it was under Chief Abrams, and it will continue under Chief Sanfilippo. As Freeholder Voss mentioned, good luck and best of luck to Junius Carter, who is the new president of the NAACP in Bergen County. We look to work closely with him on any issues that he has. And I want to, again, congratulate Freeholder Ortiz, Chairwoman Ortiz, on her new title as chairwoman. Congratulate Freeholder Voss and Amoroso on their leadership positions. I know Bergen County is in good hands, and I look forward to working with everyone, not just these three on the board, but everybody on the board, to continue to move Bergen County, and I think in a positive direction that it's taken over the last 4 or 5 years since starting with Steve and Tracy and moving from the county executive on down. I think that the proof is in the product. And I think Bergen County is leading the way for all of New Jersey on how they conduct themselves in business. Again, we can have disagreements like we've had here over the dinosaur exhibit, but we are environmentally friendly. We protect our parks. At the end of the day, it may not be the same finished product that everybody wants, but Bergen County cares about its residents, cares about its open space, and we will continue to do so. Thank you, Chairwoman Ortiz.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Tonelli.
Thank you, Chairwoman. January 9th was National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So when you're out there and you see police officers, please thank them for their service. Having two that have to get dressed every day to protect and serve, it's not the same as it was 30 years ago. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous job, and may God bless and keep them safe and keep everybody that puts the uniform on safe. I'd like to congratulate Jim Sung Kim and David Borzada, who were sworn in yesterday as undersheriffs, as the Sheriff's Department starts the reorganization process, and also Ms. Cora Taylor, who was sworn in as the Chief Warrant Officer. I'd also, after tonight's comments, I'd like to thank Senator Weinberg for her remarks tonight and her questions. And I'd especially like to thank the administration for their quick response to her questions and her inquiry, because it's very important that the correct information gets out there, just like the answers to her question, I think will help educate all of the people that are coming with concerns about what's going on in Area 1 and 2. And the more people that get the correct information out to the public, the more we can put the public's mind at ease. Because as many of my colleagues will know, there's been a lot of people, a lot of the same people come to our meetings. They ask a lot of the similar questions, and it's never with all the facts, and it's not all the correct information. So the more people, the more leaders of the community that we have that come here, that get the correct information, the easier and more opportunities we'll have to educate people with exactly what's going on there. I thought Administrator Niels was very articulate in the process, where it stands currently. Thank you very much for spelling that out. I think people left here tonight with a much better understanding on what's going on in that area. Unfortunately, at the reorg, I didn't get an opportunity to thank Tom for his leadership last year as our chairman. It's not an easy job to wrangle everybody on this board, to get everybody to get to a compromise and to have to work on issues that may be a little more challenging, to get everybody to feel their input was added to it, to make it a better resolution, to make it a better ordinance. Wrangling everybody's personality and everybody's strong suits up here is not an easy task, and Tommy did an outstanding job driving the bus.
Thank you.
I know, Jermaine, you learned a lot from Tom. You learned a lot sitting here, as we all do, from each other. But I just want to wish you, Mary, and Joan all the best in the upcoming year. I know that we're going to work great together. We're going to do some fantastic things and continue the progress that this county has made over the course of the last 6 years. Thank you, Chairwoman.
Thank you. Freeholder Amoroso.
Good evening. The Bergen County Prosecutor, through the School Safety Task Force, has initiated a series of school safety training for teachers, administrators, and staff in schools throughout Bergen County. The trainings focus on active shooter situations, school building safety and assessment, and mental health assessments and assistance for students. When schools and school districts have completed the trainings and done the assessments, the idea is to have the schools and school districts accredited as safe schools. The longest government shutdown in federal history is having its impact locally. Over at the Bergen County Board of Social Services, all active SNAP or food stamp clients will be able to receive their benefits, their February benefits, early on January 17th. All new applicants will receive benefits up until January 31. After that, the continuation of benefits will depend on the lifting of the shutdown. On and after January 31st, the Board of Social Services will continue to process SNAP, but will advise new clients that their benefits will not be available to them until the end of the shutdown. The federal government, by the way, is advising recipients to budget carefully because they may be getting their benefits early for February, but they won't get anything else for February. Our director over Board of Social Services, Adina Yacoub, is very proud of her staff for working overtime and getting those benefits processed. We also attended 2 ribbon cuttings in the past week, both spearheaded by local officials, both genuinely wonderful, impactful creations. In Teaneck, using new state preschool grants and with the assistance of a local Episcopal church, the school district expanded its part-time preschool for ages 3 and 4 to full-time. They also added 30 new seats. This is a result of New Jersey's receipt of a $10.6 million in federal funding for a new initiative called the New Jersey Preschool Development Collaboration. So now there is full-day preschool, pre-K, in 110 districts across New Jersey. That compares to 35 districts 2 years ago and 60 districts about a year ago. Second ribbon cutting of note, in Franklin Lakes, the mayor and council bought a 14-acre piece of property off Colonial Road about 6 years ago. Lo and behold, 6 years later, last week, Franklin Lakes opened McCoy Place, which is a beautiful complex of 39 one-bedroom units for disabled citizens. And this complex also offers a slew of supportive services for residents on site. This is a noteworthy example of a town being proactive and doing good for the community. Again, as my other Freeholder colleagues have said, congratulations to our new NAACP Bergen County President, Junius Jeff Carter, and just a word of remembrance for District 37 Assemblyman Al Burstein. He died on December 27th in Tenafly at the age of 96. I covered him as a reporter in the 1970s. He was a scholar and a gentleman, and he was part of a legacy of exceptional legislative representation that has contributed to the Bergen County and state of New Jersey we enjoy today. Thank you, Chairwoman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder, sir.
Thank you very much, Chairwoman. First, I want to just echo what Freeholder Tonelli stated. Freeholder Sullivan, you scooted out to get to a different swearing in, and you didn't get to hear all the wonderful things that we put on the record, thanking you for your service and about the way that you stewarded this board in the last year. Thank you so much, and thank you to the hundreds of people who came to support and congratulate Steve and I on our reelection, and also on all the leadership moves that have come here. I am very confident and thrilled that we were going to have such wonderful leadership this year going into 2019. It was a weeks of reorganizations throughout the county when a lot of municipal governments turned over the new page and brought in their new and sworn their new council people and mayors. And it's the time when the campaign stops and the work begins. And so I know that all of us who sit here on this board stand committed to partner with all of our municipal representatives and work collaboratively to make sure that we can continue to put forward shared service arrangements and continue to make government more efficient and effective on all different levels. We saw a lot of that tonight in the resolutions that we passed, but all of us are here as resources, as sounding boards, and as partners to continue those conversations. In addition to the ribbon cutting in Wyckoff, which was really wonderful, and I'm very happy to see the new Insera project in our community, we also got to congratulate, in addition to the undersheriffs, individuals who were promoted. Freeholder Amoroso and I were at the promotions of Joseph Savino, Leonardo Ariano, and Wilbur Lloyd, who became sergeants, and Robert Del Corpo, who became a lieutenant, adding to the rich bench of leadership within the Sheriff's Department that will lead the men and women of that department with dignity and will continue to have the best, not only first responders and force multipliers in the county, but really wonderful community advocates and first responders in so many different ways. I also played kind of tour guide and organized a day with Israel Consul General Israel Nitzian, who came to Bergen County to collaborate on how Israeli resources can be, how we get into partnerships with different Israeli resources. They lead the way both in STEM, in startups, in biomedical technology, and in public safety expertise. And we have had a rich history of having exchanges in the past where we have benefited from that conversation. This is something that we will definitely continue going forward. He met with not only the sheriff and the prosecutor's office, but also Dr. Redmond at the community college and Dr. Lerner, who is our superintendent of schools, to figure out how our students can benefit, how we can continue to have conversations, whether it's courses in cybersecurity or other different ways that we can move the dialogue forward. They are eager to partner with us, and we are eager to continue having those conversations. And lastly, I want to plug on Monday, this coming Monday on Martin Luther King Day, We the People, a nonprofit that I am involved with and started, will be bringing together 5th through 8th graders, hopefully 300 to 400 of them, to do community service projects in an intercultural, intercommunity way, realizing the fact that our kids have a say and have an ability to make an impact in the lives of others as well. And they have also the ability to build bridges and learn from each other as they go through the process. So if you have middle school children, age 5th through 8th grade, you can sign them up at wethepeople-eee.com and register them to be part of what will be a really meaningful day of service. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Gans?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I have just a few remarks to make. The first of which...
Oh, sorry.
There you go, David. Thank you. I voted no with respect to the introduction of a bill because the version that I had was blank. Nothing was filled in. I understand from Phil Deser that it was in our Dropbox. I was unaware of that fact, and I'm confident that the officials in question who are being named by position do in fact deserve the raises for the hard work that they do. This was simply, from my perspective, a vote against having insufficient information to properly vote. Over the course of the last 2 months, we have gone to a number of flag-raising events, all designed to show the cultural aspects of a variety of countries. This includes the Philippines, Poland, and a number of other countries, all of whom had not only good cultural information, but very, very good food. This is the time of the year where I get to show off from my pictures, my collection. We're coming up on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and a number of events are being sponsored by the MLK Birthday Committee and others. This is something far more personal. It's a picture of, among other people, a 14-year-old kid from Rockville Center, New York, which is where I grew up. And this is meeting Dr. King. I'm in the back row, standing. And I have to say that it was the thrill of a lifetime to listen to him speak, to hear the rising voices. And I proudly have walked subsequently his path, and I expect that I will be participating at it. Finally, take a moment and reflect on Dr. King and what he could have achieved, and how and this great man cut down in the prime of his life, along with others, Abraham, Morton, and John. And you can see just how significant a role each of these men, and especially Dr. King, have had on all of our lives. That concludes my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. I know all the freeholders got a copy of the ordinance and the New Jersey statute attached to the ordinance, so you could read it. So I can get you a copy as well, but I know we all received one. Just want to make that clear. I also attended the State of the State, and there were two things that the governor discussed that are important to us at the county. He said he continues to be committed to education, and that he will continue to expand the pre-K full-time program that Freeholder Amoroso, that I attended as well with Freeholder, and how important it is to invest in the future of our children and how they can get them prepared for kindergarten in many reasons. I mean, educationally, socially, and I think this is great to implement this throughout all municipalities throughout the county. He also mentioned how he's committed to continue with the community colleges, especially for those that cannot afford it, and that they will be able to attend school free of tuition. So I'm glad that he's giving the opportunity for those that want to be educated and cannot, attend college. And I'm glad that we at Bergen Community College, which is probably one of the best community college in the state, and that our residents have that opportunity. He also discussed the opioid epidemic and how he continues to fight this epidemic, and how he will continue to fund and help all the municipalities and the counties, because this is definitely a problem that continues to increase year after year. And I am so glad that we can work with the prosecutor's office and the sheriff's office, and with the help of Newbridge Medical Center, to really tackle this issue that is really affecting all our residents, especially our youth. I also want to just discuss two grants that were also in our resolutions. One for the Center for Hope and Safety for $35,000. That really, it really affects a lot of our families that are affected by domestic violence and their dependents, and that we have this opportunity to help those that are, that are just so vulnerable. And as well as the grant agreement for the Housing Authority of Bergen for the tenants that can get rental assistance who are getting evicted from their apartments as well. And right now with the federal shutdown, who knows how many of those families will be affected throughout our county. I also got the opportunity to attend Three Kings Day in Garfield. It's actually a great event, and I'm glad that we still celebrate it, because it was celebrated in my household as a Latina. And it's when it's when all the epiphany is what they also call it. It's when the three kings come to give the gifts, almost like a baptismal gifts. And 150 children, this was actually, I think it was Garfield United that started the program. We had 150 children and their families come together, and we gave toys, which were, most of them came actually from Human Services and different charities that were able to donate all these toys. So it was great to be able to be part of it, distribute it. We even had all the, like a whole little play with the three kings and the nativity. It was really nice to be there. So I'm glad we still keep some of that culture and to, to teach our children. I also attended our stigma-free annual event, which we're very proud to have all 70 municipalities now to be stigma-free. And we have this annual conference in which all the different municipalities come together, and they introduce all different forms of how they approach stigma-free, and mostly within their students. So we had all these students from 3rd grade up to high school give different presentations and how they feel about stigma-free. So it was very educational. I'm really glad with the program, with the county that we're doing to tackle also this issue. And that's all I have for this evening. There be nothing further to come before this meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned at 8:47 p.m.
Okay.